What's going on, everyone? Divine Sense Boxing coming back at you guys with a real quick video. You guys know what time it is. It is breakdown / prediction video time. And by now we all know that the Errol Spence Jr. Manny Pacquiao fight has officially fallen through. Very unfortunate. I was very excited and looking forward to that fight. But the August 21st date has been salvaged, and Manny Pacquiao does now have a new opponent, and that is Yorgenis Ugas. I do believe that Ugas is going to be a very credible and tough opponent. And for anyone out there who thinks that Manny Pacquiao is going to just run through Ugas very quickly and easily, quite frankly, I just don't agree with you. And in this video, I'm going to point out some key points that I think are very relevant and basically just give you guys my thoughts on how I feel this fight will play out. And, of course, give you my prediction. So first, just to really refresh people's minds, is something I like to do, is I like to look at the tail of the tape. Ugas is 35 years old. He's 5'9". He has a reach of 69 inches. And, of course, in comparison to Spence, Spence is 31, a little bit younger, and he's 5'9.5", so slightly taller with a 72-inch reach. And to compare that to Pacquiao, of course, he's 42, aging like a fine wine. Of course, he's 5'6", with a 67-inch reach. So a quick little comparison between Spence and Ugas, of course, is the fact that Spence had a 5-inch reach advantage, to Ugas only a 2-reach inch advantage, but the height is pretty much the same, only being a half-inch difference. Now, one of the key things that I did point out that I thought that Spence would give Manny Pacquiao problems is the simple fact that he is a fellow southpaw, and Pacquiao hasn't fought a southpaw in a very long time, and 5-inch reach disadvantage. Of course, the height as well. So with Ugas, he doesn't face all those potential problems. He's going to be facing a guy who is obviously orthodox. Manny Pacquiao has shown that he boxes very well against orthodox fighters, obviously, and not as much of a reach disadvantage. So I do want to throw that out there so people can, use it for food for thought. Ugas is 26-4. That is his official record. But I do want to point out that 3 of those 4 losses came by split decision, which basically means that he's had 3 very, very close fights. Case in point, Ugas versus Porter. I want to use this fight as a little bit of a reference for today's video because it's the most recent one, and there are some similarities, I believe, between Shawn Porter and Manny Pacquiao, especially when it comes to work rate. I scored that fight, first 5 rounds going to Ugas. I felt that he was counter-punching beautifully. He was boxing beautifully. Porter was trying to impose his will like he always does and was just getting caught cleanly with very clean counter punches, as I mentioned, and his defense was very sound. I know that some people gave Porter some early rounds based off of work rate, but I just didn't see it that way. And I do typically score fights for counter punchers who score cleanly and able to defend very well. So I do want to throw that out there. Then going into round 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, I did give those rounds to Porter. I thought Porter made adjustments. He was, popping in, popping out, popping in, popping out, and trying to box a little bit more and got countered a little bit less. It was going to the body well and landing some big, hard shots. Now, round 11 is the one round which, if I scored for Ugas, Ugas wins the fight. But I ultimately gave Porter that round because Porter did hurt Ugas, I believe, in that round, wobbled him. It was a close round, but because of the fact that Porter wobbled Ugas, I have inevitably gave it to Porter in that one. Round 12, though, I gave it to Ugas again. I think he closed that 12th round out very strong. So ultimately, 6 rounds to 6, I scored it a draw. Now, is Shawn Porter a Manny Pacquiao? Of course not. Manny Pacquiao obviously has the advantage in foot speed. He has the advantage in hand speed, in my opinion. But like I said, the work rate is very similar. Sometimes they try to outwork you, outpunch you, keep you uncomfortable. And of course, Pacquiao offers that unorthodox southpaw style, which we're going to find out if Ugas can adapt to that or not. But I just want to throw those little key points out there. Now, I do believe that Ugas's strong boxing pedigree, coming from his Cuban background, of course, is going to shine in this fight. And by shine, I mean it's going to be relevant for sure. And he's going to show how composed he can be. He's 35 years old. He's very, very polished. He's been in some big fights. And he's going to show his abilities. And his ability, I believe, is using the jab effectively, which he did against Porter as well. Using the reach advantage to his advantage. But ultimately trying to catch Pacquiao as Pacquiao tries to jump in with combinations. He's not a power puncher, but he does have a Mayweather type of sting to his punches to keep opponents at bay. And he's, like I said, I mean, ultimately, Pacquiao has had the most issues in his career with pure counterpunchers. And I personally would classify Ugas as a counterpuncher. And, of course, we know the problems that Pacquiao had with Marquez. We know the problems that he had with Morales, especially in the first fight, which he lost, and, of course, against Mayweather. So it's really going to come down to, can Pacquiao get past the jab, which is very effective by Ugas. Ugas has an excellent jab. Can he get past? Can he keep that right foot on the outside, work his right jab, sneak some right hooks in there, and then ultimately get that left hand in there to try to hurt Ugas? That will be the tail of the fight, in my opinion. Ugas, of course, is going to have to maintain range, maintain his composure. If he gets hurt, be steadfast, be strong, and never stop trying to counter. Always try to keep Manny Pacquiao at bay as much as you possibly can. If Manny Pacquiao sets his feet, he's very dangerous. So, prediction time. I believe that this is a fight that will go all 12 rounds, and I think that Pacquiao will edge it out late. I think that Ugas will impose a problem for Pacquiao early, at least the first 5 or 6 rounds. I think Pacquiao might steal a couple of rounds there just based off activity possibly, but I do see Ugas doing very well from round 1 to 6 or 7 possibly. And then I think Pacquiao will make adjustments and do what he needs to do to get the nod. I think it's going to be a very close, unanimous decision, possibly another split decision. I hate to say it. I also think that there might be a possible knockdown. I do think that Pacquiao could very possibly knock down Ugas in this fight, but I don't see him knocking him out. Pacquiao hasn't really proven to me that he's able to maintain his power at welterweight, and at 42 years old, I just don't think he can knock out a very solid welterweight like Ugas, who has very good defensive ability and who has shown to have a very good chin as well. But we might see a flash knockdown. I didn't expect Pacquiao to knock down Thurman, and he did. So with that being said, this could be a fight where it's close, but Pacquiao gets a knockdown and ultimately gets him the decision. And hopefully Pacquiao gets this done, and we can see Pacquiao Spence maybe early next year, maybe late this year. I don't know. I've heard some stuff that the eye injury can be healed quite early, and so we're just going to have to see. But that's my prediction. I might make one more video about this fight if I get at least 100 likes on this video. I'll meet up with a close friend of mine who's a professional fighter where I'm at, and we'll get on camera and we'll break down angles and tactics and techniques on how we think the fight will play out, give you guys a different kind of viewpoint, similar to what I did with Pacquiao Spence, but except I'll add another person in there to make it a little bit more interesting. So 100 likes, I will get that video out before the fight. We don't have very many days left, so make sure you click like on the video. And of course, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Stay a part of the conversation. Long live boxing. I'm out. Peace.